Yeah, absolutely. Michigan, 82.4% of the power penalty kill this season. 5 shorthanded goals, always a threat to take it the other way as well.
Number 2 in the country on defense in the power play. Eisen slides it along the blue line for Ingles. Now, a pass intended. Michigan trying through the puck. 24 seconds left in the power play. Smith at the blue line for the Buckeyes. Moves along. Back to the point with Ingles. Ingles drags the puck. Back to Smith. Shot. Saved by Ivan Kovic. And covered up by Ivan Kovic. Michigan remains the first minute and a half of the power play. And not as much yet. 3 more seconds. Face off to Michigan.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna. What if I close it? You refresh.
Hello and welcome back to Yost Ice Arena. Sorry for all these issues. 1-0 Ohio State in the first quarter, first period. 4 minutes 20 seconds left.
Okay, so I'll give a brief recap here as we are back in. Michigan down 1-0 due to a power play goal over Ohio State at 10:25 in the first period. So hopefully you guys can all hear us. We are excited to be back for you guys.
We don't normally do this. Shout out Dependent Fanatic in the chat. Thank you for staying through this whole time. All right, less than 4 minutes left in the first period. Ohio State up 1-0. Michigan has 9 shots on net, unable to put any through. We are off and going at Yost Ice Arena. Teams have had a very intense battle. A couple scuffles have broken out. There's 3:38 remaining. Michigan, Ohio State, number 2 ranked Wolverines with Keenan Draper on the puck. Enters the zone, sends a shot towards the net. It's deflected away. Now through the crease, the puck flies, and Michigan cannot capitalize on the opportunity. Ohio State goes the other way. 1-0 Ohio State. 3:19 remaining in the first period. Puck is on the boards on the near side in Michigan's defensive zone. Asher Barnett fighting for it with Jake Carabella. And Michigan emerges. Drew Schock emerges, connects with Malcolm Spence in Michigan's offensive zone. Spence backhands it to TJ Hughes. TJ Hughes spins, puck into the slot. Piranha shot blocked by Ohio State. Ben Robertson corrals it. Michigan still on offense. TJ Hughes drops it back. Robertson a shot. He hits into the back of the net. Ben Robertson, first goal of the season, ties up the game for Michigan. We are all square at 1 with 2:47 left in the first period.
Yeah, we were actually talking about Robertson's weird stat line pre-game. Robertson leading the defense in points with 12. Still searching for that first goal. Got it here on really just a leaky one that Eberle will certainly like back. Before that, Michigan's best chance came when TJ Hughes hit the crossbar on the power play. But regardless, Michigan happy to put one in the net and equalize this game.
1 apiece, Buckeyes, Wolverines. Ben Robertson had 12 assists. So almost a quarterback, a point guard. Finally picked up his first goal as a Wolverine. He's a Cornell transfer. Michigan back on offense. Tyler Duke gets pressured. Horkoff, nation's leading scorer in the offensive zone. Moldenhauer to Duke. Duke back to Moldenhauer in the slot. Puck in the crease, covered up by Christopher Eberle.
That was pretty offense. That was really, really pretty offense there from the Wolverines. Duke made a great cut in towards the crease, just could not get the extra pass over towards the big forward Will Horkoff, who was sitting ready to one-time that into the top of the net. But fortunately for the Buckeyes,
Eberle covered it up. Michigan back on offensive zone faceoff. 2:26 left in the first period. Michigan skates into the crease, trying a wraparound as Robertson for his second goal. Could not work. Eberle covered the front door.
Almost had a chance to go to the Michigan there.
Hughes with a deflection in the defensive zone. And now the puck skates back to Rayo Mullen. Hands to Ben Robertson. Ben Robertson for Adam Valentini. And TJ Hughes connecting on offense. TJ Hughes did not get a stick on the puck. It will be icing.
We will try and give you guys a full period recap at the intermission break. It's been certainly a lot of action, especially for the Wolverines. 14 shots on goal. They've really been the better team outside of the first 3-4 minutes of this one. But if you're the Buckeyes, you're happy to get out of this period with a tie.
1-1 Michigan, Ohio State. Jaden Perron skating through neutral ice with the puck. Perron transfer from North Dakota. Dakota Rayo Mullen. Now back to Perron. Perron gets a stick on the puck and chases after it in Michigan's offensive zone. Puck goes along the boards to Ohio State in their defensive zone looking to clear. And they do. Rossi does clear but loses the puck. Good stick there by Michael Hage. And then Michigan back on offense. A dump and a change. In pursuit of the dump is Will Horkoff. Ohio State keeps it moving. Bryce Ingles, defenseman, moves it along. Now onto the boards, it goes to Riley Thompson. Riley Thompson in a battle with Horkoff and Barnett, and the Buckeyes continue to move the puck along the boards. Now Michigan in the crease, a shot by Perron, saved by Everly, glove save. Michigan moving the puck along the boards, got it out in front of the net thanks to Michael Hage. Went in on a shot on net by Hage, and it was snagged out of the air.
Yeah, a little confused as to what the Buckeyes were doing there. Ingles and McBride just kind of let Hage walk in all alone at the top of the crease. Phenomenal save by Eberle on Michael Hage, the Wolverines' second leading goal scorer.
Buckeyes win the defensive zone faceoff. Adam Isley, Big Ten second star of the week recently, passes to Caron, and Caron tries to fling the puck into the zone. Instead, misses the glass altogether. It sails into the crowd.
Smith and McKinney exchanging words at center ice. Smith got like a stick kind of right in the skates of McKinney. So something just to watch. Obviously, two rivals, Big Ten matchup. Going to be a little chippy game.
Michigan, Ohio State, a face-off at center ice. 60 seconds to play in the first period, one apiece. Puck sent around the boards by Ohio State. Carabella's there. Now Cole McKinney for the Wolverines in neutral ice to Aiden Park. Freshman to freshman, now to veteran. Garrett Shifsky enters the offensive zone, tries to fling a puck deep, and a whistle blows the play dead as the puck went into the netting.
Yeah, I believe that was Isley with the good stick there to kind of stop the Wolverine rush, force them to change for really one or two last opportunities here in this period.
15 shots to 5, Wolverines lead. Goal was by Ben Robertson recently, tied it up. Nice shot from the slot. Face-off in Michigan's offensive zone. Keenan Draper fighting, loses the face-off. Ohio State the other way. McBrayer sends it in for Gordon, and Gordon has to push the puck into the offensive zone, but couldn't retrieve it himself. Tyler Duke around the boards. It goes to Ohio State right in front of the net. Gordon had a chance to scoop the puck in with a backhand. Couldn't do so. Montez is there for the Buckeyes. And Malcolm Spence finally corrals for the Wolverines out to neutral ice. Draper and Ernestine in pursuit of the puck. 20 seconds to go in the first period. Puck is around the boards. Asher Barnett tries to send one in. It flicks off a skate and high in the air to the back right corner. Duke now sends one in. Great stick on the puck by Keenan Draper. Redirected it, but a great pad save by Eberle for Ohio State. There is 1 second left in the period, and the horn sounds. Time runs out. 20 minutes into the period. Ohio State, Michigan, all square at 1.
Yeah, right after that save on the Hughes shot, Malcolm Spence tries to center another puck in. Nobody home as Garrett Shifsky now talking to the ref. There were some whistles late, kind of after the horn come in.
Perry, that first period, 16 shots for the Wolverines, just 5 for the Buckeyes. They both have 1 on the scoreboard. A lot of penalties early on. What do you make of that first 20 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, look, right, the Wolverines, number 2 ranked team in the country. They should be the better team, and they were really the better team for really the last 3/4 of that period. The first 4 or 5 minutes, as has kind of been Michigan's MO. Leading into games, they've appeared a little bit sloppy, just a little bit slow, especially at home. I don't know, maybe the other team is just a little bit more fired up to come to Yost. But for whatever reason, it's been a problem for them all year. Kind of reared its ugly head here in this one. And although the Buckeyes didn't score in those first 5 minutes, they scored later on in the period. That was really where the bulk of Ohio State's opportunities came in. But really good response by the Wolverines, especially on the offensive side. In the offensive zone especially. Really, Ivan Kovic really had nothing to do for the last half of that period. So if you're the Wolverines, there's stuff to be excited about. If you're the Buckeyes, though, you're kind of fortunate to be tied 1-1.
A lot of penalty time in that period, 8 minutes, 4 different penalties, 2 by Karan for the Buckeyes. We're at the first intermission. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for the second period after this break. All right, welcome back to Yost Ice Arena. We're all square between Michigan and Ohio State in the first intermission. Along with Perry Mourtzinos, I'm Theo Shernoff. Thank you for sticking with us on WCBN Sports. Perry, this matchup of Michigan and Ohio State runs deep. This rivalry runs deep. We're all square after the first period. What are you looking for in these final 2 periods?
I'm just looking to see, how can the Wolverines minimize mistakes? This is a team that they're better than. They have more talent than them. Ohio State only has 1 NHL player. They should win this game just by pure skill alone, but the only thing that can really let the Buckeyes back into this game is turnovers. Stupid mistakes in your own third. We really haven't seen that yet from the Wolverines, which is good, which is encouraging. Really, the only problems we've seen out of them on the back end have been just they kind of started slow, but usually, they have some problems with breaking out of their zone. They've had a number of turnovers that have led to goals, but they are 3-0 coming off a loss this season. They're undefeated in the first game of series, so we'll see what happens for the Wolverines.
Yeah, this Michigan team, number 2 in the country. They're 11-3, 4-2 in the Big Ten, split their last 2 series against Wisconsin and Penn State. Ohio State, on the other hand, they are 5-5, so they played 4 less games than the Wolverines. 5-5. They're 1-3 in the Big Ten, but that doesn't tell the whole story. They have 5 losses by a combined 5 goals. They've lost each of their games by 1 goal. They've won by more than that plenty of times. So this team fights. They fight till the end. Ohio State and Michigan played 4 times last year. They split it 2-2. Each of those games decided by 1 goal. 1 goal results are kind of rarer in hockey due to the fact that teams pull their goalie in the end of the game. So a lot of empty netters, but no, these games come down to the wire, and I think we're in shape for another one just like that today. Again, intermission, 1-1, Michigan and Ohio State. A lot of penalties in those first 20 minutes. Perry, Michigan's power play, one of the best in the country. What do they need to do to capitalize on those penalties from Ohio State more?
Yeah, to your point, Theo, 31.7% on the power play this year. And, I mean, look, any power play led by guys like Will Horkoff, Michael H., TJ Hughes, it's going to be a good unit. The key for Michigan really has just been, can they enter the zone? When they've been able to enter the zone and set up their offense, their power play has been lethal. They've had the occasional, like every good power play does, the occasional times where they just can't enter the zone, it just gets cleared down, they just continue, and they really can't get, 1 guy on the bumper, 2 guys on the point. They really can't do that all the time. So if they can enter the zone successfully, maybe it's a dump and chase, maybe it's a guy like Will Horkoff carrying it through the middle of the ice, and eventually get all the players to their spots, then you can set up, the Michael H. Horkoff one-timer that you want.
That's a good point. The zone entries have been a problem for the Wolverines all game long, and they did manufacture a goal. Ben Robertson, junior transfer out of Cornell from Potomac Falls, Virginia, had no goals and 12 assists coming into the game, led the team with those 12 assists. But now he picks up a goal, gets one for himself. Robertson contributing to the scorebook, and picking up the assists on that one were TJ Hughes. Oh no, Ben Robertson actually didn't get the goal. I'm sorry. It was ruled a late tip by Malcolm Spence. That's my apologies. Spence picked up the goal, so Robertson picks up another assist, and he's up to 13 assists without a goal in the season. Spence must have been in front of the net and barely deflected it in.
Yeah, because initially it looked like Eberle, the Ohio State goalie, had really a good beat on it, and it kind of just slid right in between, under his arm and right in between his chest. And initially, I thought that Eberle was kind of disappointed in himself. Robertson, led the handshake line towards the bench, so we all kind of figured he scored. But as you said, Malcolm Spence with the late tip, probably why Eberle was just unable to adjust quick enough. Kind of came off like a knuckleball too, Theo, just a little tough to handle sometimes.
2 minutes away from puck drop in the second period. Ohio State got their goal early on from their captain, Davis Burnside, out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Picked up a goal, and the assists went to Sabo and Carabella. Broughton Sabo and Jake Carabella. Ohio State in the midst of a 6-game road swing.
Yeah, crazy.
They are obviously returning to Columbus in the midst of it, but 3 straight series on the road. They went to Wisconsin. They split the series there with the loss coming in overtime, so they picked up 4 points in that series. And then they come here to Ann Arbor, play Michigan, and then next weekend they go to an out-of-conference series against Arizona State down in Tempe, Arizona. So a very tough swing for the Buckeyes, but this is the experience you want later on in the season. Big Ten, a very competitive conference for hockey. Michigan currently leading it at 4-2, or at the pacing the conference. Michigan State still number 1 in the country. Just a couple seconds away from puck drop. 1-1 Michigan and Ohio State. Teams returning to the ice.
Yeah, weird. Just a weird little blip in the hockey schedule, right? The weekend after Thanksgiving, usually non-conference matchups. As you said, Ohio State going to Tempe to face off against the Sun Devils. Michigan going all the way to Cambridge to play the Harvard Crimson next weekend.
Some Thanksgiving road series, as a lot of, well, actually I could say a lot of students would be gone, but these two teams would take the football field against each other a week from tomorrow in the game, and that will be one of the most highly watched games around the country all season long. Michigan,
two of the best helmets in hockey, by the way.
I was going to point that out. Michigan and their winged helmets, blue base, yellow wings. Ohio State, silver helmets, glistening the light down from them.
Not quite as impressive as whatever Notre Dame puts on their helmets. I mean, those things are bright as can be.
Cole McKinney, Jake Carabella to do the puck drop at center ice. We are underway in the second period. 1-1, Big Ten, old-fashioned hockey, 2 rivals. Cole McKinney wins the faceoff for the Wolverines. Tyler Duke in neutral ice. Skates past the red line, stumps the puck all the way around the boards. Josh Ernest in pursuit. Mick Brayer moves it along for Ohio State, along with Isley. Isley back to Spence, though. Spence keeps the puck in for the Wolverines. It gets dumped deep to Ernest. Ernest to McKinney, back to Ernest. Ernest a shot, covered up by Eberle. Used his chest to block it.
And I want to point note to that entry there. Tyler Duke dumped it in all around the boards. Ernest and McKinney, really good forecheck, and Ernest got reward with the shot attempt that came on a pass from McKinney. But that's what the Wolverines are going to need to do. If it's not carrying it through the middle with your, skilled players, it's going to have to be dump and chase and a really, really good forecheck, which the Wolverines had there.
Both teams change. Ohio State and Michigan. Face-off in Michigan's offensive zone. TJ Hughes wins the face-off for the Wolverines. Valentini to Robertson along the boards. Ben Robertson dumps it further deep in the Michigan offensive zone to Valentini. Michigan does not retain the puck. It goes to Gordon, and Gordon loses it. Hughes now tries to send a puck through the zone, but it's deflected by the stick of Smith. And Smith hits it out of play into the netting. 19:15 remaining in the second period, 1-1.
Yeah, Ohio State elects to leave their top line on the ice. Michigan will counter with the Hage, Horkoff, Mollenhauer line. Benefits of the last change at home.
Ohio State wins the faceoff into neutral ice. Davis Burnside keeps it moving. Jake Rossi in pursuit for the Buckeyes. Rossi gets there, dumps it back to Burnside, about right behind the Michigan net. Buckeyes keep possession all along the boards. Riley Thompson back to Burnside, the captain. Burnside, a shot grabbed by Ivan Kovic with his glove. Bobbles it in his hands a few times. Will reset with a faceoff. Ohio State, a chance.
Yeah, Michael Hage turned the puck over in his own zone there. Just not enough playing strength along the half board, leading to the turnover. That's it really, again, the only thing that's going to keep the Buckeyes in this game.
Defensive zone face-off for the Wolverines. These Buckeyes play close games, gritty games. Max Montez on the faceoff for the Buckeyes, loses it to Keenan Draper. Wolverines in a jailbreak. Garrett Shifsky through neutral ice, all the way around the boards hard. Eberle tries to cut it off, the goalkeeper for the Buckeyes. He couldn't, but the Buckeyes get there on the other side anyway. Chris Romaine moves it along for Wise. Wise throws it towards the net, and Ivan Kovic catches it and will reset again. 18 seconds pass, and another catch by Jack Ivan Kovic. Ivan Kovic, a really talented freshman goalkeeper for the Wolverines, played every minute that every goaltender has played for Michigan, and really a bright piece of this future. Montez still in the game for the Buckeyes on the faceoff with Cole McKinney. Ohio State wins it, but they lose the zone. Puck goes just beyond the blue line, so they have to give up on the pursuit. Michigan through neutral ice. Cole McKinney all the way around the boards. They've done that most of their entries today. Cole McKinney backhands it along the boards on the left side. Now behind the net, Ohio State retains with Sabo. Ohio State through neutral ice now. James Hong out wide for Montez. Montez, a nifty move to get around Tyler Duke behind the Michigan net. He flicks it along the boards back to the blue line for Romaine. Now the puck behind the Michigan net and back to Montez on the left side. He tries to send it in, deflected by Tyler Duke. Tyler Duke pushing Montez along the boards. Puck now with Nathan Lewis for the Buckeyes along the boards. Lewis drops it back for Montez with a shot. Montez misses wide. Wolverines out to the neutral zone. Rebound was big. Malcolm Spence enters. Cole McKinney trails. Cole McKinney tries to shoot. It's heavily guarded by Nathan Lewis, and Lewis forces a turnover. Ohio State back through neutral ice. Gordon to Dunlap. Dunlap, a shot, misses wide around the boards. TJ Hughes keeps it moving for Adam Valentini. Valentini, just a 17-year-old, tries to bounce it off the boards and go chase it himself. Does so enough, pushes Chris Abel out of the way, but Ohio State retains possession. Back and forth we go. 1-1, 17 minutes left in the second period. Jake Dunlap backhands a shot wide. Ohio State's missed wide a couple times. Gordon a chance. Pass, extra pass, goal, Buckeyes. Gordon had an open net, drew Ivan Kovic out of position, moved him out of the way, passed it over to the side, moved it back to Dunlap in the fourth line for the Buckeyes. Scores, they're up 2-1 with 16:59 left in the second period.
Yeah, great feed from Gordon over Dunlap. From up here, you could kind of just see him creeping on as Drew Shock just kind of got caught puck watching a little bit, but the Buckeyes just have better retrieval over in that sequence. They had better retrieval in the offensive zone. They didn't allow Valentini over here to have a successful forecheck, and eventually the extra pass, great pass from Gordon. And Ivan Kovic, as you said, had no chance.
Yeah, that one's not on Ivan Kovic. He didn't make the miraculous stick save, but the stick was his only hope, as no chance. Hage drops it back now. Rayon Mullen in the slot. A shot blocked, not once, not twice, 3 times. Covered up. Christopher Eberle stands strong. Rayon Mullen had 3 chances in the slot. 1-2. Buckeyes lead 16:38 in the second period.
Yeah, a lot of traffic in front of Eberle there. Hage, Rollenhauer, and Horkoff were surrounding him. 2 Buckeyes in front of him. Great job by him to locate the puck on the initial attempt from Rayon Mullen and then cover up with the glove on the rebound chance.
Face off in Michigan's offensive zone, won by Ohio State. But Michigan keeps the zone for the time being before Ohio State kicks it out just beyond the blue line. Robertson tries to send it in. Eberle stops it on a dime behind his own net, and Buckeyes start their break. James Hong moving in. Hong tries a shot. Ivan Kovic grabs it. His glove has been busy today. A lot of those shots might not be heading into the net, but Ohio State happy to settle for an offensive zone faceoff.
Really special break out there from Sabon and Curran, just really right, and then a nice little 1-2 to the streaking Buckeye right up the middle of the ice, allowing the shot on Ivan Kovic. Really, really nice break out there from Ohio State out of their own zone.
Max Montez on the faceoff with Keenan Draper on the left faceoff dot in Michigan's defensive zone. Puck was not dropped, and the official says that one's my fault. That one's my fault. So we'll do it again. Ohio State up 2-1. Montez wins the faceoff for Ohio State. Winning the faceoff battle. Now Montez a shot. One-timer from the slot, missed wide. Rebound goes to Chris Romaine. Buckeyes behind the Wolverine net. Pressured by Draper and another Wolverine. Puck flying all over Michigan's defensive zone, but nowhere near the net on the near side boards. Now Romaine on the near side boards controls. Pressured by Barnett.
Great job by Romaine on this shift.
Duke keeps it moving for Perron. Now TJ Hughes and Garrett Shifsky in neutral ice. Garrett Shifsky on the near side. Shifsky has a trailer and Barnett doesn't use him. Now Duke a one-timer from the blue line. Deflected, pad save by Eberle. Back the other way goes Isley for the Buckeyes. Isley tries to drag the puck with him, loses it in the process. Tyler Duke, a stick
great tie-up
in the way. Aiden Park right at the red line sends the puck all the way around the boards, and Garrett Shifsky, the first one there for the Wolverines. Wolverines change all 5 members.
Yeah, Romaine had a great shift there for the Buckeyes in terms of puck retrieval, and then if Barnett had just turned his head around, he might have had a rebound chance.
Isley for the Buckeyes at the blue line sends one towards the direction of the net, bounces off the side of it. Fantilli behind the Wolverine net, keeps it moving for Draper. Out to neutral ice, McKinney tries to skate to the puck. Instead, it's Ernest for the Wolverines who picks it up. Ernest loses it to Nathan Lewis, has some good check today.
Great stick lift from Lewis there on Ernest.
Fantilli for Michigan at the block M. Moves it along for Ernest. Ernest tries to swing it to McKinney on the far side. Deflected. Ohio State out and running. Jake Dunlap just scored. Sends it towards Ivan Kovic, who catches it and keeps it moving and alive. Wolverines control behind their own net. And now they turn it over. And they get it back. Michigan trying to clear out of their own zone. Ben Robertson skating in circles in his own zone. Moves it for Fantilli on the near side. Fantilli in neutral ice. Crosses the red line. Swings it all the way around. Perron moves it behind the Buckeye net to TJ Hughes. TJ Hughes, a backhanded fall to Malcolm Spence in the slot, who keeps it moving for Ben Robertson at the blue line. Ben Robertson skates the blue line from left to right and now settles in the right corner, pressured by a Buckeye. Looking for help is Robertson. Robertson moves it along to the corner, and Michael Hage has it deflected away by the Buckeyes. Some Buckeyes will change. Michigan still controls the puck, has to re-enter the zone. Perron enters the zone. Drops it back. Valentini in the slot. Tries a drag shot. Blocked. Tries another one. Gets it off cleanly. Saved by Eberle.
Really good chances here for the Wolverines. Really starting with Robertson's puck control in the offensive zone.
Valentini keeps the puck in on the blue line. And now loses it to the Buckeyes. And William Smith out and running are the Buckeyes. In transition. Nice nifty backhand move. Blocked by Ivan Kovic.
Asher Barnett just saved a goal.
That was Jake Rossi working on Asher Barnett. Did just enough to get a shot off. Ivan Kovic a save, and then Barnett another save. Still 2-1 Buckeyes, approaching 13 minutes to play in the second period. Puck enters the zone for the Buckeyes, but it was icing as they sent it in from just beyond the midline. And Michigan will have an offensive zone. 13:06 left in the second period. 2-1 Ohio State.
Yeah, the lone Buckeye there just working against Ramon, man. Nifty move. Kovic with the kick save, and Barnett fortunate to get there just before Rossi did. Saved the goal. Saved this from being a two-goal game. Excuse me.
Drew Schock skates out with the puck to the neutral zone. Tyler Duke through the neutral zone. Tries to send a diagonal puck through off the glass. Instead, it's a little high. Goes off the net, and there will be a face-off resetting at neutral ice.
That's just an unforced error there from Tyler Duke. He knows it. I saw what he was trying to do, and it's a right idea just to try and get it in and get the soft kick off the glass rather than the harder kick off the boards, and unfortunately for him, just overcooked it a little bit.
12:55 remaining in the second period. 2-1 Buckeyes in this rivalry matchup. In their last 20 matches, Ohio State has won 6, Michigan has won 12, and they've tied 2. Michigan trails by 1, but again, their last 4, all last year, each matchup was decided by 1 goal. Ohio State has 5 losses this year, all by 1 goal. This game destined to be close. It feels like for Ohio State, they either win big or lose small, Perry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. they've come out this period after really getting killed the second half of the period in terms of the second half of the first period, in terms of just the optics of it. But have really come out, been the grittier team, have retrieved the puck much better. Remain had a great shift earlier in the offensive zone. Outside of Ben Robertson really being calm and cool under pressure, both in his own zone, and then kind of was playing around with it in the Buckeye zone as well. Michigan's just kind of looked a little bit antsy, kind of like a quarterback when they get happy feet in the pocket. Ohio State's been aggressive, and kudos to them. They've forced Michigan into doing exactly what they didn't do, which is kind of muck up this game, turn it into a slugfest rather than, a finesse game.
Michigan wins the faceoff, 12:50 to go. Hage enters the offensive zone. Puck in front of him. Horkoff keeps it moving. Barnett tries to skate around. Horkoff in front. One try is blocked. The second backhand try blocked by Eberle. 2 straight saves for the Buckeye netminder. Michigan still on offense. Moldenhauer to Hage behind the net. Duke on the far side boards keeps the puck in. Horkoff centers. Hage in front of the net. Could not get the puck to stop bouncing. And the puck keeps bouncing. It bounces over the glass and into the stands. And there will be a face-off in Michigan's offensive zone as the puck had not left the blue line.
That was a beautiful set play right off the face-off. As pretty as it gets, tic-tac-toe. And Eberle, credit to him, made a great save on Will Horkoff, which is not easy to do, especially this season, the nation's leading goal scorer. But what a feed from Moldenhauer, just as they're showing you on the Jumbotron. Really, really beautiful play.
Rayo Mullen, D-to-D pass to Ben Robertson. Robertson goes for the far post. Draper keeps it moving. Eberle almost covered up the puck. Draper got it, but it missed wide. Ohio State on offense. Carabella keeps it moving. Shot, far side, missed wide. Adam Isley was there. Carabella behind the net to Isley. Behind the Wolverines net, the Buckeyes control. Now Aiden Park tries to clear it. Garrett Shifsky picks it up. Backhand chips it out, lands right in the center of that block M. Ohio State retains possession. Into the offensive zone, the Buckeyes go. It's cleared out. Good stick there by Dakota Rayo Mullen. So Garrett Shifsky for the Wolverines takes a big hit, dumps it along the boards.
Wolverines have really looked much better coming off of the timeout.
Malcolm Spence checks into the game, picks up the puck. McKinney, an extra pass, a wide open opportunity for Josh Earnesty, and Earnesty could not continue to move the puck into the net, whiffed on it, but there was a penalty on the play. It prevented a goal, but Earnesty still had a great opportunity to tie the game up.
Yeah, this is going to be hooking here. Earnesty, I mean, if you're the Buckeyes, you live with this penalty. I mean, this was a goal otherwise. Beautiful feed over from McKinney, Spencer McKinney to Earnesty, and relatively easy call for the official there, as Karan just kind of got caught chasing Earnesty.
So Karan in the box for the third time tonight, serving his 5th and 6th penalty minutes. Michigan, best power play in the nation, chance to execute right now. Hayes, huge Horkoff, Valentini, and Robertson on. Muse was the 5th member instead of Robertson, but Muse is injured with a season-ending lower body injury. Robertson at the point. Horkoff, a one-timer, snagged by Eberle.
That's the key right there, win the faceoff.
11:16 remaining in the second period. Buckeyes up 2-1. Michigan outshot them so far, 22-12, but 150 on the power play for the Wolverines.
Another big faceoff draw here for TJ Hughes. Your top faceoff winner, and obviously the point guard Ben Robertson right behind him, hoping to win a clean draw and be able to set the play up that they were talking about just briefly.
Hughes deflects it for Robertson on the faceoff. Moves it along to Valentini. Horkoff at the red line. Horkoff decides to try to take it himself. Great stick there by the Buckeyes' McBrayer. And Montez clears for the Buckeyes, goes all the way behind the Michigan net.
Horkoff should have probably sent that back around the board, just kind of got double teamed in the corner, not much you could do.
Hughes to Robertson. Robertson takes the blue line. Hughes back for Hage. Hage tries to stick drag, gets it deflected. Buckeyes clear again. 1:15 left in the power play. Ivan Kovic stops it for Robertson.
A little too much finesse there after Robertson's clean entry.
This line for Michigan likely going to get one more attempt. before they change to their second line. Robertson for Hage. Hage along the blue line. Passes it for Valentini. Valentini slowing things down. Drops for Robertson at the point. Back to Hage at the left face-off circle. Skates backwards, now forwards. Hage drags for Hughes. Horkoff in the slot. Shot just high.
Didn't miss by much.
Robertson now back for Hage at the point. Hage thinking about his options for Hughes. Back to Hage. Hage now at the left face-off circle. Horkoff in the slot. Turns, squares up to the net. Tries to send it long for Valentini. Missed his spot. 30 seconds left in the power play. Under 10 to play here in the second period. 2-1 Buckeyes. Michigan on the power play. Hughes getting pressured by Smith. Hughes drops it back for Robertson at the point. 20 seconds left in the power play. Hayes tries to connect with Horkoff in the slot. Picked off by Bryce Ingles. He's going the other way. Ingles tries to cross it for Gordon. Good cross, but couldn't get there. Gordon wisely sends it all the way back to Ohio State's defensive zone. Ingles was there. Now Ingles clears. Would be icing, but there's still 3 seconds left in the power play. So Ivan Kovic has to send it up. Cole McKinney on for the Wolverines. McKinney backhands it for Rayo Mullen. Rayo Mullen takes his space behind the Buckeye net. Back for McKinney along the right boards. McKinney tries to connect to Rayo Mullen. Off his skate it goes. Spence keeps it and then tries to drop it back, but no defender there at the blue line for him. Jaden Perron for Michigan. Skates through the center and enters the zone. Under 9 to play. Dakota Rayo Mullen. Rayo Mullen, a nifty lift shot. Misses just wide again. Michigan's missed the frame a couple times recently. Jaden Perron keeps the offensive zone for Michigan. Rayo Mullen tries a shot, slips through the 5-hole, and scores! He shot it from the point. It was definitely not where he intended to shoot it. Puck stayed on the ground the whole time. Christopher Eberle closed his legs late, and Michigan equalizes.
Well, after a power play where you would have liked to see them at least put a puck on net rather than trying to pass and look for the perfect shot, Graham Mullen throws a changeup in there. And another fortunate goal here for the Wolverines, but that's what happens. Put pucks on net, you never know what may happen. You never know what kind of rebound you may generate, and you have to make the goalie make a save. And unfortunately for the Buckeyes, Eberle just not able to corral that changeup from Graham Mullen.
His 4th goal of the season ties it up here in Ann Arbor. 8:40 left in the second period. Tyler Duke enters the zone, takes a huge hit from Burnside, and gives him a piece of his mind. Keenan Draper behind the Buckeye net, centers the puck through the crease. There was no one there to receive it. Now Draper gets the puck right back behind the Buckeye net. Along to Tyler Duke at the point, tries a floating shot similar to what Rayo Mullen just scored on. This time Eberle was ready. Josh Earnesty for Michigan. Moves it into the offensive zone. Buckeyes clear. They retain the puck, they don't clear. Michigan tries to enter through the slot. Tyler Duke spins, has space, shot in the slot, blocked. One more time for Michigan. Wrapping around is Moldenhauer, saved by Eberle. Kept his shoulder attached to the post.
That was a pretty move by Moldenhauer, not just on the wraparound, but got Eberle out of position ever so slightly. Just dropped his right shoulder there with the pump fake, and then as Eberle was kind of going to the ground, Moldenhauer eventually had his shoe fading away, and Eberle made a great save there.
2-2, Michigan and Ohio State. Another chapter being written in this rivalry. We just saw a goal from Dakota Rayo Mullen to tie things up.
A little mix-up of the lines here.
McKinney wins the faceoff. Puck skates past the blue line. Matthew Mania, the extra skater for the Wolverines, sends the puck around the boards. Robertson at the blue line. Shifty, moving his legs. Enters the puck into the slot for Moldenhauer. Corrals it eventually after skating backwards. Moldenhauer then loses the puck after being pressured by a number of Buckeyes, including Ingles. Ingles keeps it moving, and Gordon clears for the Buckeyes. Dunlap, the second goal scorer for the Buckeyes, retrieves the puck and it slips on his skates. Moldenhauer moves it along for McKinney. McKinney takes a hit at central ice, but no call. And now eventually, Michigan enters the zone offsides. So there will be a reset faceoff. 7:16 left in the second period. 2-2, all square.
Yeah, Mania, as you said, the extra skater made great play there on Dunlap in the corner. I thought there was a chance McKinney got slashed coming right across the block M. But nonetheless, top line coming back out here for the Wolverines.
Michigan has 25 shots. Ohio State has 12 on net.
Hockey's a funny game. Sometimes it's quality over quantity.
Icing by the Buckeyes right off the faceoff. James Hong left his feet just to be the first one to hit the puck, but he hit it from behind the midline all the way behind Michigan's net. So icing, Michigan an offensive zone faceoff. 7:10 remaining in the second period. Ohio State started the scoring, Michigan equalized. Ohio State fought back and scored in the second, and then Michigan equalized again. Drew Schock tries to keep the puck in Michigan's offensive zone, cannot do so. Thomas Wise for the Buckeyes tries to enter Michigan's defensive zone, cannot do so. TJ Hughes on the break the other way. A nice pass. Jaden Perron could not get there. Puck was deflected before it reached him. Now Hughes tries to redirect the puck from the point, can't. Drew Schock moves behind the Buckeye net. He's on his knees, finally gets to his feet.
Pretty funny to watch there for a little bit, kind of crawling around the ice.
Buckeyes finally clear the defensive zone. Montez gets his pass deflected by Perron. A shot right down Broadway by Nathan McBrayer. Gloved easily by Ivan Kovic. Clear line of sight means an easy catch.
I still can't get over what Drew Schock was doing here in the corner. Like, took the hit, she kept the puck amazingly, by the way, but like was kind of on one knee, like shuffling almost, and it was clearly looking for somebody in the center of the ice. And I think he didn't realize the amount of time that he had and kind of stood back up. But as you said, Wolverines outshooting the Buckeyes nearly double here. And, you know, to use like a cross-sport analogy, Theo, this is almost like when a team just keeps driving into the red zone, driving into the red zone, driving into the red zone, and just ends up kicking field goals. And then, you know, fortunately, the other team, you know, has like 2 drives and they score a touchdown and they win like 14-12. That's what it kind of feels like right now. Michigan putting pucks on net and having really a lot of good chances. That chance over Perron was really a great deflection by Nathan McBrayer wearing the A here for the Buckeyes. But, you know, sometimes if you're the Wolverines, if you kind of just the longer that you let this game get close, the more confident you let the Buckeyes get in their play style. And eventually, you know, they're perfectly happy to win this game 3-2 with just one more rush. And that may be all it takes here in this game.
2-2, 6:27 left in the second period. We had a little timeout with teams returning to the ice. Both listening to their coaches, drawing up plays. Brandon Naurado, the man at the helm for the Wolverines. For the Buckeyes, it's Steve Rollick in his 13th season at the helm. Face-off in the Ohio State offensive zone on the left face-off dot. After Ivan Kovic gloved down a shot from Nathan McBrayer. Face-off won by Ohio State. Romaine, the lone NHL prospect on this Ohio State squad, sends one in the direction of the net. Missed wide, but Ivan Kovic got his stick on it anyway. Another shot deflected towards Ivan Kovic. Ivan Kovic grabs this one and settles it down for his teammate to receive. Malcolm Spence gets a stick on the puck. Oh, he whiffed the puck in the neutral zone, so it will be icing and go all the way back to the Ohio State offensive zone.
A couple times Ivan Kovic tonight has tried to catch and release. The second time there led to the ice, and the first time led to a turnover. I wonder if that's going to be something that the coaches are looking at as we come up on the second intermission here in about 6 minutes.
Two, 6 minutes to play in the second period. Ohio State on offense. Jake Rossi behind Michigan's net loses the puck. Michigan has space to clear, and they do. Will Horkoff skating through center ice. The Pittsburgh Penguins prospect enters the offensive zone and backhands it along for Tyler Duke. Duke moves it for Michael Hage. Nice drag shot. Shot! Saved by Eberle. Covered it up. Led a rebound and then covered it up again. Whistles flying, not allowing any scuffles to break out, at least this early in the match.
Yeah, little quick trigger there from the referee regarding the whistle. Eberly caught it but kind of bobbled it and then eventually dropped it right behind him. The Michigan faithful here was a little upset to see that play blown dead, but nice toe drag there by Michael Hayden before letting the wrist shot fly.
Very crowded Yost Ice Arena in Ann Arbor. Chilly November Friday night. Offensive zone faceoff for the Wolverines. Keenan Draper, Detroit kid playing for Michigan, Red Wings prospect.
As good as it gets right there.
Wins the faceoff and Rayon Mullen keeps the zone, moves it along the yellow on the boards. Garrett Shifsky couldn't receive it on the other side. Isley clears for the Buckeyes. Dunlap for the Buckeyes. Sends it behind Michigan's net, bounces off the back of the net after bouncing off the boards. And Carabella holds Shifsky, both fighting for the puck. And finally, Ohio State emerges with Isley. Isley for Dunlap, a shot. Just a floating changeup snagged by Ivan Kovic above his head, but I believe would have been under the crossbar. And 5:16 left in the second period. Ivan Kovic makes another save.
Yeah, relatively routine save for Ivan Kovic, but really hasn't gone a lot of serious work in a little bit, so nice just to keep your goalie engaged a little bit.
Just over 5 minutes to play in the second period. 2-2 Ohio State and Michigan. Should have a good ending here on WCBN. Aiden Park in neutral ice, backhands it up. With a head of steam is Moldenhauer. Moldenhauer runs into the wall. He couldn't backhand it on the net. Ben Robertson for the Wolverines has to skate all the way back behind his own net to retrieve the puck, and does to Aiden Park. Aiden Park moves it along, but makes a turnover in central ice. Smith, the shot, misses way wide for the Buckeyes. Ohio State in their offensive zone into the slot, but this time Aiden Park does pick it up and stick handles it out to neutral ice. Cole McKinney enters the zone, could have been offsides. Nick Moldenhauer was on the other side. Moldenhauer behind the Buckeyes net, tries to backhand one into the slot. Lewis is there for the Buckeyes, making sure that can't happen. Backhands it out to neutral ice, clears the zone, but Michigan retains possession. Barnett takes his space, handles around angles, centering pass, great opportunity, saved by Eberly twice. TJ Hughes in prime position, the nation's all-time leading active goal scorer, could not finish around Eberly. Read him like a book. Icing, though, as the Buckeyes send it the length of the ice. Eberly keeping this game knotted at 2.
Yeah, great job by Eberly, able to slide over on the crease. Hughes kind of caught this puck rather than ripped it one time, just because the pass from Barnett was just a little behind him, just enough behind him where it would have been an awkward one time. So that allowed Eberly the time to slide over across the crease, but good shift there from the Wolverines, starting to get their feet back under them now.
2-2. 4:06 left in the second period. Offensive zone face-off for Michigan after the icing on the right side. Ohio State wins it, and they clear the zone with William Smith. Tyler Duke for Michigan enters the offensive zone. Passes it off the boards, dumps and chases. Keeps it moving behind the net. Hughes tries to connect with Adam Valentini, who lost his edge. Ohio State has possession in neutral ice. Ingles flings it high into the air. Lob pass, and would be offsides if any Buckeye touched it. Instead, Adam Valentini picks it up and enters Michigan's offensive zone after dropping back to TJ Hughes and then Tyler Duke. Duke sends it through the crease, hits off the stick of Christopher Eberly and into the netting behind the net.
Wolverines just playing a little bit more control now. This is really 2 times kind of in the past minute or half or so where they've had the puck against an aggressive Buckeyes forecheck and have been able to be much more controlled than they were earlier in the period, and have gotten relatively clean exits out of the zone and across the neutral zone. So hopefully that continues for the Wolverines.
Will Horkoff at the left faceoff dot loses the faceoff, and Ohio State with Abel keeps it moving in their own zone, and now it's neutral ice. Isley tries to catch up to the puck, but Fantilli, a great move. Now Hage on the offense. Hage in offense. Through the crease. Puck skates. Eberle falls in it. It keeps moving. Drew Schock keeps it moving for the Wolverines. Eberle had a chance to cover it up. Could not do so. Horkoff for Michigan in the offensive zone. Loses it to Wise. And Montez makes Michigan clear the zone. But Fantilli has it right at the center of that block end. Fantilli enters the zone. To Malcolm Spence for the Wolverines. Spence fighting with McBrayer. And the puck moves all the way around to neutral ice and rolls all the way back to Michigan's defensive zone behind Michigan's net. Michigan starting from scratch. Shifsky moves it along for Schock at the red line. Schock sends it all the way around the boards. Keenan Draper lets it go, and Garrett Shifsky gets there for the Wolverines. Buckeyes cut the puck off. Sabo tries to clear the zone. Garrett Shifsky holds the blue line very strongly. Josh Ernest moves it back along the boards. The puck has flown behind the Buckeyes net about 7 times, now 8 times in the past 20 seconds. Finally, Ohio State controls it, and Sabo enters neutral ice for the Buckeyes. Thompson tries to enter the Michigan zone, and does after a lot of traffic, including Ben Robertson holding him up. Keenan Draper chasing after the puck, makes it go out to neutral ice, and the Buckeyes retain possession in their defensive zone. 1:43 remaining in the second period. Still all square at 2. Puck finds Garrett Shifsky at the center of the block end. Nick Moldenhauer now attacking for Michigan. Thinks about wrapping it around. Instead drops it back for Cole McKinney, who moves it along. And Thompson redirects it accidentally for the Buckeyes towards his own net. Just missed wide. Now Nick Moldenhauer for Michigan. Around the Buckeyes net. Keeping the puck on his stick. Skating to the right. Now throws the puck towards the Ohio State net. It's deflected out by the feet of Dunlap. Jake Dunlap lays a hit on Moldenhauer. Moldenhauer pops back up. Puck is right up against the boards in front of the Ohio State bench. And finally, Ohio State has the puck and flicks it behind Michigan's net with 50 seconds to go, and they retain it. Abel, Carabella. Carabella tries a one-timer, missed wide. Ref is right in the middle of the scrum for the puck. No clear possession by either team right now. Puck in neutralized. Cole McKinney, nice cross-ice pass for Tyler Duke. Back for Park. Aiden Park, a shot from the slot. Blocked by Abel. Chris Abel in the way of everything.
Yeah, going back to the half-word sequence right in front of the Ohio State bench, couple penalties that were very close to being called on Ohio State. Both a boring call against, or on Josh Ernest, I should say, and too many men on the ice were very close there.
TJ Hughes skating on offense for the Wolverines. Sends it towards the net. Valentini moves it along in the crease. Blocked by Eberle. 10 seconds left in the second period. 2-2. Ohio State enters the zone. Isley takes a huge hit. Children of Yost student section loves it. 3 seconds remaining in the period. Michigan allows time to expire in their defensive zone, and each side tacks on a goal apiece. 2-2 after 40 minutes played. Michigan doubling up Ohio State on shots, 30-15, but we're all square, right back where we started. 20 minutes to play after a 20-minute intermission. These teams jawing at each other right now in the center circle. Officials standing in the middle of them, separating them, but they return to their respective locker rooms. 2-2. Third period coming up next. Stay right where you are. Welcome back to Yost Ice Arena. After 40 minutes played, Wolverines 2, Buckeyes 2. Perry Mourtzinos along with Theo Shernoff. Perry, thoughts on that second period?
Yeah, lots going on for sure. Michigan, as with the first period, kind of had a weird 4 or 5 minute stretch of hockey where they kind of just fell asleep at the wheel almost. They just got kind of slow, kind of lackadaisical, and that's when the Buckeyes got their lone goal of the second period. As with the first period, though, the Wolverines came back, bowed back. They haven't learned this one. They're 1-0 this season when tied after 2 periods. So we'll see what happens here, but the end of that period is what I really want to focus on, really those last 3 minutes. They had a couple great 2-on-1 opportunities, one with Hagen Horkoff that was broken up by Chris Abel, and really one of the best defensive plays. Like, that's how they teach you in the film room on how to play that. Just made Hage make a decision at the last possible moment until he basically couldn't get the puck over to Horkoff. But especially in that last minute and a half to minute and 45 seconds, the game got extremely chippy. A couple big hits over by the Ohio State board. A huge hit on Adam Isley of the Buckeyes, really as clean and as technical as it gets, right in front of the penalty box. So I do wonder how the Wolverines are going to handle this extra physicality. They've been better with physicality. Hage, Horkoff, TJ Hughes, Adam Valentini, these guys are all super, super finesse players. They win with speed, not necessarily with physicality. So I do wonder if this game continuing to get mucked up will eventually take its toll on the Wolverines. And maybe the Wolverines come out of this and win it 3-2, but I'm sure that this will definitely be a factor for tomorrow night as well.
First game of a 2-game series between these squads. 2-2. Just a couple minutes away from puck drop in the third period. The goal scorers in the second period. Jake Dunlap for Ohio State. Assists went to Adam Isley and Ryan Gordon. And then for Michigan, to tie it up was Dakota Rayo Mullen at the top. Kind of a fluky goal. Michigan has 30 shots on net, but this one seems to be one of the easiest to stop of all of them. It floated through, assist there, went to Jaden Perron and Asher Barnett.
It's weird because they have 30 shots, and I would argue they haven't scored goals on probably their top 5 shots, which is odd. The Ram Mullen one especially, from, as you said, the point was a complete knuckleball, curveball, whatever you want to call it. I mean, just very oddly went in the net, and even the tip-in down here that we had in the first period by Malcolm Spence was another kind of just barely getting your stick on it. But this is what happens when you throw pucks at the net. You never know what might happen. And I give Christopher Eberle a lot of credit. He's hung in there really, really nicely. He's made a couple huge saves working side to side especially. Really hasn't given up that many dangerous rebound opportunities. So he's keeping the Buckeyes in this game, certainly, with 28 saves through 2 periods. Is just special stuff from the junior goalkeeper playing in his home state.
3 Michiganders on this Buckeyes squad. Eberle is one of them. He's from Pinckney, Michigan, along with Bryce Ingles, the freshman defenseman from Port Huron, Michigan, and the backup goalkeeper, freshman from St. Clair, Michigan. Ohio State, Michigan. It's a tale as old as time. One of the best rivalries in college sports, some argue the best, this time on ice. 30 seconds away from puck drop, 2-2 in Ann Arbor, Yost Ice Arena. It does not get better than this. 20 minutes to decide a winner. Opening match of this 2-game series. There is a return trip later after the new year where Michigan goes down to Columbus into enemy territory and will play the Buckeyes for 2 there.
These first 5 minutes are going to tell me a lot. Can Michigan really put the foot on the gas early in the period rather than late, when Ohio State still has to play the remaining 15 minutes rather than get a break? So I'm interested to see how fiery the Wolverines come out. I expect it to be a physical start of the period, though, based on how the last period just ended.
Cole McKinney at the faceoff circle with Jake Carabella. 20 minutes on the clock. 2-2, and Michigan wins the faceoff. Luca Fantilli in his own zone makes a turnover immediately. Adam Isley picks it up in neutral ice and then turns it back over. Jack Ivankovic behind his own net. Couldn't collect it. Isley on the near side boards. Carabella keeps it moving for the Buckeyes. And Ingles does a fantastic job keeping the puck in.
Really nice play.
Michigan the first to the puck, though. There were 3 Wolverines and 1 Buckeye in the area, and they keep moving. Josh Ernest at the block out. Enters the offensive zone. Cole McKinney on the right side. Tries to fling one towards the net. Instead, it's deflected off the backboards. Multiple Wolverines and Buckeyes pressing up against the puck along the backboards. Ernest and McKinney there for Michigan. McKinney moves it along the boards. Tyler Duke, reception. Dakota Rayon Mullen on the right side now. Skates backwards, back out to the blue line, and loses the puck. An odd man chance here for the Buckeyes. If Wise can get in front of Hughes, he has an opportunity. He can't. Good defense there by TJ Hughes, the 24-year-old. Just celebrated his 24th birthday. Michigan in their own zone with the puck. A couple players slipping on this fresh ice early on. Dakota Rayon Mullen had the puck in his zone, but slept. In neutral ice, the puck flies. TJ Hughes catches it and drops the puck. Battle for it at the boards, right at the red line. It gets sent behind Michigan's net, and Ivankovic corrals it and moves it along for Ben Robertson. Ben Robertson floats one through central ice into Ohio State's zone, but then they clear it right out of the blue line immediately. Adam Valentini and Weiss fighting for it for both squads, and Valentini wins the battle, enters Ohio State's defensive zone.
Almost a sneaky, dangerous play by Robertson. Hage's leg was hanging off of the bench. Almost too many men on the ice for the Wolverines. Very, very close.
Nathan McBrayer, wearing the A for the Buckeyes, sends one from just behind the red line into the back of Michigan's zone, so it is icing. Will reset with a face-off on the far side. 2-2, 18 minutes to play in the third period in Ann Arbor.
Both teams just really kind of feeling themselves out so far. Haven't really had any team get too aggressive yet. I'm sure we'll see it kind of open up here.
Faced off in Michigan's offensive zone, won by Ohio State. Bounce it off the boards, up high, goes out to neutral ice, and now Michael Hage controls for Michigan. Crosses the blue line, puck on his stick out in front of her, tries to shoot, leaves the puck behind, but it was skating slowly, and Eberle covers it up.
That's something that Hage, the Canadians prospect, is so good at doing, really starting from his backhand side and just getting on the goal side of his defender, being able to use that big back just to kind of get around and get back to his forehand. Really, really good job, but that time just could not really corral as the defenseman for the Buckeyes was able to recover.
Ryan Gordon wins the faceoff for the Buckeyes in their defensive zone, hits it backwards, but Michigan skates there first. Asher Barnett, D-to-D pass to Fantilli. Fantilli, diagonal pass to Hage off the boards. Hage tries to split a couple Buckeyes, couldn't do so, and Ohio State controls in their own zone. Looking to avoid making a turnover, some triangle passing to clear the zone. They do so effectively, and they enter Michigan's zone. Gordon for Lewis. Dunlap has the puck skate between his legs and recovers it. Sabo tries a shot way wide. Puck finds Will Horkoff in neutral ice. Horkoff backhands the puck into the zone. Sabo holds the blue line very strongly, though. Corrals the puck, and Buckeyes out in transition along with Sabo.
Yeah, Horkoff needed a change there. He was gassed.
Buckeyes unable to leave the zone right now, their own zone. Michigan holding the line, and then Michigan makes the turnover. Adam Isley controls for the Buckeyes. Dunlap flicks it into Michigan's zone. He goes to change, and Tyler Duke for the Wolverines moves it along the boards in his own zone, but then centers a pass for the Buckeyes, and they're there. McBrayer, a nice backhand in front of the net. Isley had an opportunity, couldn't get around the puck.
Dangerous there.
Ohio State in neutral ice. Nathan McBrayer flicks the puck in behind Michigan's net. A shot on net, snatched down by Ivankovic. Reset with a faceoff.
Ivankovic kind of framed that like a catcher trying to bring a pitch down back into the zone, but better shift there from the Wolverines with the Hage, Horkoff, Mollenhauer line, and then once that kind of went off due to Horkoff just having to dump it in and get changed, the Buckeyes had their chance, but still really nothing too dangerous for either side yet.
Face off, won by Ohio State on offense. Riley Thompson. Top line center for the Buckeyes. Pressured by Ben Robertson and Cole McKinney of the Wolverines. Dakota Rayon Mullen gets his stick on the puck and moves it along the boards for the Buckeyes, though. Ben Robertson finally controls the puck for Michigan, and they will reset in their own zone. Robertson enters the offensive zone with McKinney. McKinney took a huge hit, and there's a penalty on the play. McKinney had his back to the net at the blue line, let the puck go into the zone, and then tried to go with him, took a massive hit behind him, and there will be a penalty on the Buckeyes. Skating into jail is William Smith, the junior from Toronto. Laid a hit, gets punished for it.
Yeah, relatively easy call to make there. Just the stick just getting a little too high up. McKinney kind of snapped his head back like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander trying to draw a free throw. But legit call, and now Wolverines have a chance to get out in front for the first time here today on their top-ranked power play unit.
15:52 in the third period. Power play, Michigan. They're 0 for 4 on the day on the power play. Ben Robertson controls at the point for Michigan. Connects with Hage, back to Robertson. Back to Hage, looking for space. Behind on the red line for Hughes, looking for Horkoff in the slot. Can't do so, back to Hage, and now Robertson at the point. Hughes, a one-timer. Saved by Eberle, and Ohio State clears the length of the ice. 15:30 remaining in the third period. 1:30 remaining on the power play.
The Buckeyes have done a really good job clogging up the middle of the ice, really not allowing any pucks to get through there.
Ben Robertson takes the zone for Michigan. TJ Hughes sends it deep. Michigan looking to control the puck and then set up their power play offense. And Ohio State clears the zone one more time, sends it back to Ivan Kovic.
There's a ton of ways to play the penalty kill. A lot of teams lately have opted to try and deny zone entry, but
a turnover in Michigan's defensive zone of the power play. Hong skates in circles, trying to kill off precious seconds of this power play. Doing so, connecting. Now a shot for Sabo. Glove save, Ivan Kovic on the shorthanded chance.
a little ole there from Ivan Kovic. But as I was saying, really the trend in the professional game lately has kind of been clog up the blue line, deny the team's entry. The Buckeyes have kind of let the Wolverines enter the zone with relative ease, but where they've really focused is not allowing any passes to get through the middle, really not allowing the bumper to do anything, not allowing passes to go through the seam. And that's kind of frustrated this Wolverines power play unit, especially the top one.
Defensive zone faceoff for Michigan, who's on the power play. Puck is at a standstill at the faceoff dot. Ohio State wins it and then throws a shot off the post. Falls dead in neutral ice. And 45 seconds left in this power play. Michigan finally controls the puck behind their own net. Deckhut pressuring Michigan. 30 seconds left on the power play. Michigan, Jaden Perron, the head of steam through neutral ice. Enters the offensive zone and controls and slows things down. Finally, Michigan enters the zone and controls. Aiden Park keeps it moving to Dakota Rayon Mullen. Jaden Perron now a shot. It's deflected off of a stick, and McBrayer goes high, out of play. Another stick in the way, disrupting Michigan's momentum, this time of their second line power play unit. 19 seconds left in the power play, 14-11 left in the third period, still 2-2.
Yeah, those top two really penalty killers on Ohio State right in the square formation are kind of hanging back. They're not really going out to the point at all. And Brendan Rudo will elect to bring out top unit one more time for one more chance. I like the call here by Michigan head coach.
Dorado with 19 seconds left in the power play. Electing with his top line, good call, Perry. Thompson loses the faceoff for Ohio State. Robertson moves it for Hage. Hage for Hughes. Now back to Hage at the point. Hage takes space to Horkoff in the slot. Towards the net, blocked down by Eberle. 6 seconds left. Bumper spot for Valentini. Valentini moves it to Hughes. Power play expires. Ohio State back to full strength. Michigan still controls. Hage a swing pass. Valentini elects to change. Ben Robertson still controls the puck. Sends one towards the net. Deflected away by Eberle. Fantilli checked onto the ice. Hustled to keep the puck in the zone. Good hustle by Luca Fantilli. Horkoff tries to control the puck behind Ohio State's net. Takes a fall. Michigan still controls. Hage on the slot. Hesitates. Centers one to the crease. Hughes is there. Couldn't get a shot on it. Tyler Duke. Luca Fantilli on the far side. Through the crease yet again. Eberle falls and survives the power play. It's a little extracurricular between William Smith and Michael Hage. Hage had an opportunity in the crease. Couldn't get a puck on the stick on the puck. And Ohio State, after taking a number of shots on net, still all square, 2-2.
Really good feed from Luca Fantilli trying to find one of Hage or Horkoff. Great defense from the Buckeyes to not allow that to happen. You could tell that Valentini was very aware of the clock. Really good just hockey awareness there. Getting off the ice, bring on another defenseman. Something that you always have to worry about when you elect to have the 4 forwards on and go with the top power play unit with little time left before even strength. So great job by Adam Valentini, the youngster really on this Michigan team, knowing game time situation and getting off the ice for Luca Fantilli.
He is the youngster. He expects to get drafted, likely in the first round in the 2026 NHL draft. Drew Schock now for Michigan sends one towards the net, covered up by Eberle as they won the faceoff. But Valentini on the same line, number 92, Adam Valentini, he's 17 and a half, on the same line as TJ Hughes, who just celebrated his 24th birthday. One's born in 2001, one's born in 2008. Big difference, both playing together right now.
2008 is ridiculous. I know I'm not that old either, but 2008 to me feels ridiculous.
Early 2008 at that. Ivan Kovic behind his own net, moves it for Drew Schock. Schock gets the puck deflected by Hong, but Asher Barnett's there for Michigan. Cole McKinney for Michigan skates through center ice and tries to center a pass. Josh Ernessy gets there, but it was offsides. And the line officials making sure there's no extracurricular activities for Max Montez. Montez pretty frustrated, hit the stick out of the hand of McKinney, and then looked like he was mad and ready to punch.
Yeah, games started to get just a little bit more physical here as we keep going on. There's that little scuffle, as you said, between Hage and the Buckeye earlier there. Montez not too happy with what's going on, but
offsides for Michigan. 12:55 left in the third period. Small timeout on the ice. Still 2-2. Michigan has 35 shots, so 33 saves for Christopher Eberle, and Ohio State only has 17, so 15 saves for Jack Ivankovic.
It's exactly how the Buckeyes want to play this game. They're just trying to get it up, muck it up, get it physical, and then maybe if they keep instigating the Wolverines, maybe they'll draw them in to a stupid little penalty, and then that would put the Buckeyes on the power play. Hopefully Michigan recognizes that. They're a little bit more disciplined. But I do expect that if Ohio State does score first to take the lead 3-2 in a hypothetical situation, I expect them to fully park the bus here. I don't think we're going to see them trying to do too much if they are able to score.
Again, Ohio State 5-5, all 5 losses by 1 goal. Heartbreaking fashion, 2 of those in overtime. Michigan 11-3, number 2 team in the country.
Big Ten hockey's good up and down the conference. Really solid depth this year. Ohio State's showing that.
Michigan wins the faceoff. Dakota Rayo-Mullen sends one all the way around the boards. Eberle slows it down for a teammate to get there, and Gordon does. Gordon for Lewis. Lewis catches it, sets it down, but then didn't know where he set it down. Draper for Michigan loses the puck, and Smith bounces it along the boards for Lewis. Back to Smith. Smith clears the zone. Rayo-Mullen for Michigan skating after the puck behind his own net now. Moves it along for Robertson. Robertson is shielded from the puck, but Garrett Shifsky is there for the Wolverines. Shifsky into Michigan's offensive zone, dumps and changes.
Yeah, this Shifsky-Draper Park line has had a little bit of trouble getting things going so far.
Puck somehow finds its way back to Jack Ivankovic. Luca Fantilli tries to drag puck through neutral ice, loses it, but TJ Hughes picks it up for him, has his back. TJ Hughes towards the left boards, backhands one through the crease, no Wolverine there. But now TJ Hughes finds the puck again in the slot, backhands it towards the net. Eberle covers it up, and then it's hit from out under him. Hughes tries to get off the side of the net. Eberle standing strong. Michigan still on offense. Ohio State finally clears the zone. Ohio State trying to enter. Tyler Duke playing defense, and Jaden Perron skates for Michigan. Michigan holding the most of the possession lately. Perron connects to Valentini. Valentini cannot connect back with Perron, as was his intention. It's deflected by Ohio State out to neutralize high in the air, almost hit the video board in the center.
As we were saying earlier, Eberle really had done a good job of not allowing rebound opportunities. Allowed one there against Hughes.
Horkoff enters the zone for Hage. Hage tries to connect with Schock. A little bit of a weak pass deflected by Ohio State. 3-on-2 opportunity for the Buckeyes. Burnside drops it back. Nobody home. Malcolm Spence is there for Michigan. Out to Michael Hage. Hage has Horkoff flanking. Hage backhands to Horkoff. Backhands it on net. And it's saved by Eberle. Pad save by Christopher Eberle. And Ohio State offsides in transition. But Horkoff got just enough to muster that one towards the net. And Eberle blocks it. Now there's more fighting between Malcolm Spence behind the play and Riley Thompson. Spence loves to muck things up, but a face-off coming just outside Michigan's defensive zone. 10:43 left in the third period. Still all square at 2.
Yeah, Hage and Horkoff had a chance there. Buckeye did a great job of getting back defensively, and really the only spot that Hage could put that pass was behind Horkoff, where he just kind of had to slide and hope that he could go 5-hole against Eberle. So great save by Eberle, his 36th of the night.
Again, 38 shots for Michigan. 10:43 left in the third period. Ohio State wins the faceoff, enters the offensive zone. Dakota Rayo Mullen picks up the puck behind his own net. Josh Ernestine now backhands it to Cole McKinney, who makes it go out to neutral ice. Puck is then sent back into Michigan zone. Ivan Kovic moves it along for Rayo Mullen. Ernestine takes a big hit in his defensive zone. Turnover. Wise. Opportunity. Shot. Saved by Ivan Kovic. An opportunity again was there, but it was saved. James Hong had a chance right at the crease. Wise will try another shot. Ivan Kovic catches it. His gloves done the dirty work today.
Yeah, and again, leading from another Michigan turnover. You can't put this one on all on Ernestine. You got crushed in the middle of the ice, kind of hobbling back towards the bench. Hopefully just got the wind knocked out of him. I mean, he got really lit up in the middle of the slot, his own defensive zone. But, you know, this is still coming from that turnover. Now the Buckeyes get an offensive zone face-off, have a chance to get it. All it's going to take, right, it feels like it's going to take one goal to decide this game. That's what it's kind of feeling like. So Wolverines got to be careful.
10 minutes remain in the third period. All square at 2. Tyler Duke skating for Michigan in neutral ice. Garrett Shifsky moves it along into Michigan's offensive zone, but Ohio State controls the puck after a nice hit was laid on Shifsky. Tyler Duke sends it deep into the Ohio State zone. If the puck came out to neutral ice, but Michigan would have been offsides. Ohio State on offense. Matthew Mania controls for Michigan. He sends it to Garrett Shifsky. Shifsky at the red line, backhands it, dumped in, and it finds the back wall. William Smith is there for Ohio State, moves it along. Nathan Lewis now for the Buckeyes. A soft, feathery dump, gets the puck deep,
Great
and
job.
changes. Fantilli hustles to the puck for Michigan, gets there. Jaden Perron forehands it in. Adam Valentini is there. Valentini and Perron fighting, and Perron emerges. Shot, hit off the outside of the net. Pass to the center, shot, score! TJ Hughes, his 54th all-time goal, leading the nation among active players. None bigger this season, putting Michigan up 3-2 with 9:05 left in the third at home against the Buckeyes.
And TJ Hughes and Adam Fantilli are going to get credit for this goal, and rightly so. But where this started was Luca Fantilli in his own defensive zone, taking great angle to the puck that came behind his net, sealed off the Buckeye on the forecheck, was able to get up to Valentini, and as we said earlier, throw pucks on net. Valentini tried to roof it, got his own rebound, and TJ Hughes all alone in the center of the ice. Beautiful, beautiful hockey, turning defense into offense, but really started from the back end from Luca Fantilli.
Michigan right back on offense. Michael Hage loses the puck. Ohio State an odd man chance. A centering pass would do it. A pass is a little too far out in front of Jake Carabella. Dakota Rayo Mullen catches up to Carabella, presses him up against the boards. 3-2 Michigan, 8:37 remaining in the third period. They have taken their first lead tonight. Malcolm Spence in the neutral zone. Enters the offensive zone for Michigan. Michael Hage, a shot! Saved by Eberle. That one was on target.
Juicy rebound too, Theo.
Another shot on target, saved by the pads of Eberle. Eberle has had a great night, although the Buckeyes trail by 1. Fantelli finds a bowling ball in Moldenhauer, who just came in off the bench. Puck gets cleared by Ohio State all the way back to Michigan's defensive zone, and it will be icing.
Yeah, Eberle has kind of started to give up a couple more juicy rebounds as we get going here. But, you know, hopefully for the Buckeyes' sake, it doesn't burn them. But it kind of feels like one of these is going to land right on the stick of a Wolverine player.
3-2 Michigan, 8:04 remaining in the third period. 41 shots for Michigan, so 38 saves for Eberle. 3 have stuck past him. TJ Hughes was just in a perfect position there. He's in another great spot right now in the crease, but gets deflected by Ohio State, and they clear the zone. Hughes sends the puck deep into the Michigan zone, and Michigan chases after. Michael Hage does, but it emerges with Broughton Sabo. Sabo out to neutral ice, and Thompson for the Buckeyes, now needing a goal to equalize. Sabo has the puck at the blue line for the Buckeyes. Finds Chris Romaine. Romaine sends one towards the net, into the crease. Ivan Kovic, I think, got a piece of it, sends it out. Michigan clears to the neutral zone. Cole McKinney takes his space, enters the offensive zone. Deep for Ernestine, back to McKinney, covered up before it could get there by Christopher Eberle. Nifty passes by McKinney and Ernestine. McKinney would have had a great look if the puck got to him before Eberle covered it up.
And one more note on the TJ Hughes goal. Wolverines have previously elected to put TJ Hughes, Hage, and Horkoff on the same line, the perfection line of sorts. Today, they decided to move TJ Hughes up and put Perron and Valentini on his wings and put Michael Hage at center. That top line of Hughes, Perron, Valentini, 5 points tonight. So great decision by the Wolverines coaching staff here so far.
Yeah, that's a good point. That line with Michael Hage and TJ Hughes had 2 centers, but Hage was kind of playing as more of a wing. Michigan opting to go back to playing Hage as a center and move him to a different line. Michigan behind their own net. Cole McKinney backhands it out to neutral ice. Aiden Park fighting for it. Ohio State enters the zone. Hong, a shot off the pads of Ivan Kovic.
Close.
Montez is there for Ohio State. Puck finds Dakota Rayo Mullen behind his own net. 4 Wolverines change. And 3 Buckeyes as well.
That was slightly dangerous. The rebound of Ivan Kovic was just wide of Thomas Weiss. He would have had a wide open net if he was able to get there in time.
Schock tries to enter the zone. Instead, though, he hits it right off of Aiden Parks, so no zone entry. Dunlap tries to go high, hits off the side of the net. Buckeyes have done that a couple times recently. 6:15 in the third period. McBrayer sends one long. 3-2 Michigan. Ohio State's offensive zone pressure. Lewis flicks one around. Ivan Kovic reaches out and grabs his stick, which he lost a couple seconds ago. Aiden Park on the Michigan red line. Now Gordon takes it away for the Buckeyes. Gordon high in the air. Puck almost bounces on top of the official's head. Garrett Shifsky finally scoops the puck out to neutral ice. And Shifsky hustling after, avoiding icing. And then lays a massive hit on Chris Abel of the Buckeyes.
Good hit there from Shifsky.
Spence enters Michigan's zone. Backhands to Hage. Hage tries to drag the puck. Just lost it. It got caught up in the feet of Chris Abel.
Wolverines have kind of gone into a little bit of a lull here. Have a couple big turnovers in the neutral zone, leading to Buckeye opportunities. Hopefully they snap out of it quickly.
3-2 Michigan, just over 5 minutes to play. Buckeyes need an equalizer. Puck along the length of the boards around the Michigan net. Romaine goes right back to those boards behind the net. Tyler Duke pressuring. Felix Caron is there. Carabella's there. And Ivan Kovic snatches it out of the air. The play was blown dead just before.
Yeah, it's going to be a cross check here coming up on Isley. Just a little behind the play in order to get in position to try and put this rebound in. Just got a little too, as they're going to show replay up. Yeah, pretty routine call there for the official. We were talking about how the Buckeyes have been trying to instigate the Wolverines all night, and we were worried about the Wolverines potentially drawing a little bit of a stupid penalty there. That's on Adam Isley wearing the A for the Buckeyes tonight. Unnecessarily cross-checking Luca Fantilli right on the top of the crease.
Yeah, he did it away from the puck, Terry.
Yeah.
The puck was on the right side. That cross-check happened on the left side of the crease.
Did not need to do it at all. Just trying to kind of free himself up right on the doorstep. Did not need to do that at all. And, with 5 minutes left, it's a 2-minute penalty. Theoretically, I should knock on wood here, but the Buckeyes haven't scored a shorthanded goal all year. Wolverines have the top power play unit in the country. This is a huge chance to get an insurance goal or at least continue to run out of the clock.
5 minutes remaining. 3-2 Michigan. A 2-minute penalty on Adam Isley. Five minutes left in this one. Michigan on the power play looking for a dagger. Ohio State looking for a shorthanded equalizer, or at least to stay alive and then have 3 minutes to equalize. TJ Hughes on the faceoff for Michigan. Ohio State wins it, and they control behind their own net, looking to clear on the power play or break out in shorthanded fashion. Instead, play is blown dead, and there might be a penalty coming on Michigan just 10 seconds into the power play.
Yeah, again, not a great penalty here from Will Horkoff, sophomore Penguins draft pick. It's just a holding penalty. Again, one that you don't really need to do. The power play is going to go to 0-5 tonight. We're going to have 4-on-4 for minute 50 seconds or so. Just a completely wasted opportunity. But, the Wolverines theoretically more space on the ice, 4-on-4. They should be the better team here.
4-on-4, almost best case scenario for the Buckeyes right now. Holding on Horkoff. Smith for the Buckeyes on offense. A lot more open space on the ice in 4-on-4 play. 4-on-4 for a minute 37 before Ohio State has 10 seconds of 5-on-4 play. Hogg moves it along for Romaine. Romaine for Smith. Good stick by Jaden Perron for Michigan. Perron thought about clearing it, and remembered it's even strength. Perron enters the offensive zone for Michigan, tries to navigate two Buckeyes, loses it. Hogg connects with Smith, moves it for Montez for Ohio State. Tries to center it for Romaine. Good stick by Robertson, and TJ Hughes is off and running. Hughes hesitates right at the left face-off dot for Michigan on offense. Hands to Duke. Back to Hughes in the slot. Shot! Saved by Eberle. Couldn't cover it up. Puck still loose. Fantilli now tries to move it along for Duke. Puck escapes to neutralize. Duke has to get it, but they re-enter the zone on offense after a short change.
Eberle had no idea where that puck was on Hughes' shot.
Fantilli into the center. Page a chance. Hesitates. Hangs. Loses the puck to Romaine.
Would have been a nice move if he was able to execute that toe drag. Nearly flawless there.
3:28 remaining in the third period. 28 seconds left on the 4-on-4, but whistle blown dead, and icing is the call. There is still icing in 4-on-4. 3-2 Wolverines. Ohio State looking for an equalizer. Michigan just needs to hold down the fort for 3 minutes and 26 seconds. Perry will keep an eye on when, if Ohio State pulls their goalkeeper. Ohio State behind their own net. 20 seconds left and 4-on-4 ice. Sabo does a circle behind his own net, and now out to neutralize to McBrayer and Carabella. Carabella enters, has a lane, shoots, saved by Ivikovic.
I wouldn't be shocked if the goalie's pulled here at the next offensive zone face-off that the Buckeyes are able to get.
Buckeyes now have a 10-second power play. Rail Mullen drops it back for Shifsky. Shifsky whiffs. Buckeyes have another 3 seconds of 5-on-4 action, and that time expires. Neutral ice is the puck, even strength on the ice. Horkoff re-enters, he'll check out of the game for someone else. Ernest gets a stick on the puck, sends it deep for Michigan. Valentini in pursuit behind Ohio State's net. Puck still loose, Ernest gets there. Ernest moves it along the boards for Moldenhauer. 2:30 remaining in the third period. Michigan up 3-2.
Eberle wants to go to the bench.
Eberle looking to go to the bench. Ohio State at neutral ice. Eyes on Eberle. Ohio State enters the zone, but Tyler Duke controls for Michigan. Michigan offense, Eberle can't leave his helm. Nick Moldenhauer, head of steam through neutral ice. Ernest back to Moldenhauer. Got his shot blocked at the point of attack. Centers a pass for TJ Hughes. 2 minutes remaining in the game. Tyler Duke sends one towards the net. Deflected in. Goal, Michigan! Josh Ernest out in front with 2:01 left. The dagger.
And Tyler Duke getting the assist, deserves to get it because of what he did on the defensive end. With about 2:37 or so left on the clock, Eberle started looking at the bench. He was going if the Buckeyes were able to get control of the puck in the offensive zone, and Tyler Duke prevented that, went the other way, forced Eberle to stay on the ice for another 30 seconds, eventually throws one on net, being tipped in by Ernest, and now Eberle's going to have to go to the bench as soon as he sees any opportunity in order for the Buckeyes to really maximize the most they can out of these last 2 minutes that they have. But 3 unanswered goals here for the Wolverines.
They were down 2-1, Perry, you're right. Now they lead 4-2. 121 seconds remain. 2 minutes. And Michigan up to Ohio State after a heroic performance from Christopher Eberle, trails by 2. Eberle has 39 saves, yet Michigan leads. 2 minutes remaining, and a delayed penalty immediately off the faceoff for Michigan. Dumb play, Riley Thompson. Michigan will just take the power play. With 1:51, they'll have an extra man on the ice. Thompson lost the faceoff and gave Hughes a piece of his mind. Frustration penalty, all but sealing the fate of the Buckeyes. They will be down a man the remainder of the match.
We talked about this, the instigation, the physicality, 2 teams that know each other well. And Michigan was able to stay disciplined, keep their head, be aware of game situation, know how important a penalty is. Buckeyes have 2 dumb penalties here in the past 3 minutes and 9 seconds. As this is getting reviewed for something, I'm not entirely sure what it is.
It might be more than just a minor, in all honesty. McKinney actually was the one who received the brunt of it. It was almost a double cross check.
Oh, and they're going to eject him.
Thompson's gone. Riley Thompson is ejected off of a cross check to the neck of Cole McKinney. He will skate on out of Yost, and we'll see if that impacts tomorrow's game as well. He may face a suspension.
Yeah, cross check to the head after a face-off. It's a stupid penalty. It's not smart. It's dangerous. It's a dumb penalty here from Ohio State. They're going to unfortunately be on the kill, or unfortunately for them, be on the kill for the remainder of this game. But
there are 1:51 on the clock and a 5-minute major for Riley Thompson.
Give the Wolverines their credit, though. They've kept their head. They've been instigated all game, and they've done a really good job of really not letting that affect their play, not taking a stupid penalty, and the Buckeyes have taken 2 of them.
Michael Hage enters the offensive zone. Back for Adam Valentini. Michigan looking to kill time, maybe pad some stats. Michael Hage, the top power play unit on for Michigan. Valentini to Hughes. Back to Valentini, back to Hughes. Robertson at the point. To Hage. Back to Robertson at the point. 1:30 left in the game. Michigan up 2. Robertson at the blue line. Back to Horkoff behind the net. Horkoff taking some pressure from Romaine. Moves the puck. Hughes in the slot. Shot. Saved by Eberle. Another nice one. Some beautiful saves by Eberle on the night.
Yeah, Eberle is just going to stay in the net for the remainder of this game, the equivalent of the Buckeyes waving the white flag.
1 minute to go. Michigan up 2 on the power play. TJ Hughes back for Horkoff. A shot. Eberle, another save. Michigan looking to pad stats. Ohio State needs 2 to tie. They're down a man. Montez skating for the Buckeyes. Tries to center a pass for Sabo. Robertson cuts it off. Robertson just trying to delay time. Ohio State on offense, down a man. Montez sends one to the corner. Sabo gets there. Sabo navigating Wolverines. Montez looks dead. Skates back for the puck, and a penalty.
It's going to be a slash.
Michigan.
Slash on TJ Hughes, it looks like.
So 24 seconds of 4-on-4 play, and that net will stay empty for Ohio State. Eberle not in his throne. After a 40-save night for the kid, he takes a seat. Will only return if Michigan nets an empty netter. 4-2 Wolverines, 24.8 on the clock. 44 shots for Michigan to 22 for Ohio State. Both teams averaging a goal every 11 shots. Ohio State up a man on offense as they have pulled their net. Michigan ices the puck. He kills 6 seconds. That's a fourth of the clock gone. 18.7 remains in the third period. Michigan up 2.
Icing still in effect because Riley Thompson went out and was ejected with the cross-checking penalty. So it's not quite a power play for the Buckeyes, even though it's 5-on-4. But so icing still in effect. Wolverines have to be somewhat careful if they do choose to shoot the length of the ice.
The length of the ice, and a goal! Face-off won by Michigan. Luca Fantilli took his time, set his feet, lined it up. The bullseye right in the back of the net. Michigan running up the score. Now leads Ohio State 5-2 with 14.3 on the clock. The Wolverines are going to take the first game of this series in Ann Arbor.
And this was an important game for me to see from the Wolverines. Not just because, yes, they're undefeated after a loss. They're going to improve to 4-0. They're going to stay undefeated first game of series. But what I really want to see is, can they play a gritty, hard-fought game? They went 0-for-6 on the power play tonight. They really didn't do much. They kind of disappeared for long stretches of this game, but they've done a really, really great job.
Michigan has the puck as time expires. Puck hits the netting with .4 remaining. Empty net goal by Luca Fantilli to push the lead to 5-2. Michigan came into this third period 2-2. Time expires on the Buckeyes. Michigan wins over Ohio State by a final score of 5-2. A gritty, hard-fought win. Ohio State was up 1-0 and then 2-1. Michigan 4 unanswered goals. Perry, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, as I said, really impressive game here today. We're going to have to see what they've got tomorrow, right? They haven't gotten a sweep in a while. It's important that they keep this same energy going into next week. But what they showed tonight in terms of being able to play a physical game, a game that got really much more physical the second half, really starting with about 5 minutes left in the second period and really the entire third period. Really, really impressive victory from the Wolverines today. Great moves by the coaching staff to kind of spark that TJ Hughes, Valentini, Perron line. And even though they didn't get their best games from their two leading scorers, Michael Age and Will Horkoff, in terms of on the score sheet, they were still impactful. Wolverines still put up 5 goals. Encouraging performance if you're a Wolverines fan here tonight.
Perry, highlight one Wolverine. Who is your MVP of the game?
I think it's got to be TJ Hughes. Game winner, had the assist as well. Just super impactful, did a lot behind the scenes, not just on defense. He was hustling back, he was boxing out the pucks, he was retrieving the puck really well. Gotta give credit to TJ Hughes, the captain, right, leading this team in a game that they really haven't played all year long. Great job by Hughes, great job by the Wolverines. Good team win tonight.
Michigan's offense breaks through in the end. Heroic performance by Christopher Eberle, 40 saves, but Michigan wins 5-2. Thank you for tuning in on WCBN Sports, our production of Michigan hockey. Along with Perry Mourtzinos, I've been Theo Shernoff, signing off like we always do, with a good night and a go blue.